Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small, the owner of CMS Law Firm. Today I'm going to try to draw you a diagram of a credit shelter trust. So if you are looking at a sheet of paper right now and you're wondering what's going on, we're about to make history. Before I get to that though, if you have questions about this or anything else related to estate planning or probate, and you want to talk with us over the phone for free, you can go to cmslawfirm.com and chat with us over the phone. Oh, I just said that. Chat with us over the phone for free. Over the phone for free. I'm a little out of sorts because I've never done this sort of drawing thing before. If you are listening to this on the podcast, by the way, don't leave me. I'm going to do my best to describe what I am drawing, while I am drawing it. I am making this for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is I was just looking for something like this and I couldn't find it, which is sort of like a description of a credit shelter trust along with a diagram of a credit shelter trust. The other reason is I talked to a potential client today and I promised them that I would send them something and I couldn't find anything good, so I'm just going to make it. The reason I'm doing it like this with just literally recording a sheet of paper that I'm going to draw on is because I'm lazy, okay? So please forgive if you're watching this, my terrible handwriting, but that's how we do it, okay? So traditionally, a credit shelter trust is going to start with a married couple, all right? So you could probably try to draw this at home. This would be pretty interesting. So what I would start by doing is draw at the top of a piece of paper, draw a circle, okay? And put put two people in there, okay? This is going to represent like the community estate, okay? If you have separate property, you're going to have to talk to me to figure out what to do with separate property. But imagine, this couple's been married for 100 years. Everything is community property, which means it's owned 50-50, okay? So that's what we have at the top. We have the whole pie, basically, okay? Imagine the circle as a pie. Now, we're going to have somebody die, okay? So we're going to have somebody die. So, okay, we have a death event. One of the spouses dies. They have created a credit shelter trust. While they are alive, nothing happens with this trust technically. It just operates like a traditional revocable living trust. They can move things in and out of the trust. They can change the terms of the trust. They can do all of this kind of stuff. So when the first spouse dies, which is evidenced by this guy with X's in his eyes, then essentially this big pie is going to get split up into two separate pies, okay? Pie number one is going to be spouse one's pie, okay? So we have spouse one, and then pie number two is going to be spouse two, okay? And spouse two is the deceased spouse, okay? So we'll draw the X's here in the sad face, okay? Spouse one is going to continue on, and this is good. This is called the typically, what is it called? The survivor's trust, typically, okay? And I'm writing. Okay, with the survivor's trust, the surviving spouse sort of holds the interest in that trust. They can continue to do whatever they want with it. It's a revocable trust. It's just their trust. They can change the terms of the trust. They can do whatever they want. So the deceased spouse's assets, though, move over here where I'm sort of circling where it says S2, and the deceased spouse's assets are essentially carved up into two different trusts if they are over the estate tax exemption amount. In Washington State, right now, the exemption amount is basically $2.2 million. Let's imagine, just for fun times, that the total estate is going to be $6 million, okay? So when the first spouse dies, the survivor's trust is going to have $3 million, which we already talked about, okay? When and then the deceased spouse's assets are going to be $3 million as well, okay? Now, if you have a credit shelter trust, the direction from your credit shelter trust basically says that when the first spouse dies, you are going to carve out a separate trust, a decedent's trust, and you are going to park the estate tax exemption amount in that trust, okay? So from this decedent's little circle, we're going to draw out another line, okay? We're going to put a circle here. This is going to be the decedent's trust, okay? The amount that goes in here is going to be the Washington State estate tax exemption. I really wish my handwriting was better and my spelling was better. Okay, exemption amount, 2.2 million. Yes, I know it's not exactly 2.2, just bear with me, because I don't want to say 2.193 all day. So the decedent's trust is going to hold 2.2 million, okay? Now, what are we going to do with this other 800,000 that is a part of the decedent's share of the estate? Because remember, we have $6 million between the two of them. When the first spouse dies, the survivor's trust gets the $3 million. The decedent's estate now has to divide this $3 million up. 2.2 goes into the decedent's trust. We have this 800,000 left over. The 800,000 is going to go into a trust called the marital trust. Okay, the marital trust basically holds the overage from the decedent's trust. Okay, in this case, it's going to be 800K. Okay. To back up real quick, the decedent's trust is an irrevocable trust. You cannot change it. This is why it allows the assets in this decedent's trust to remain out of the estate of the surviving spouse when the surviving spouse dies. Okay? This $800,000 in the marital trust is also an irrevocable trust, actually. Okay? But it is the type of trust, because you are utilizing the marital exemption. We're about to get complicated here. You are utilizing the marital exemption on this amount so that you do not have to pay on the 800,000, so you don't have to pay estate taxes when the first spouse dies. What you are basically saying is, I want to wait to pay tax on this 800,000 until the survivor dies. To do that, you create this trust, the 800K, but you're going to utilize the marital exemption, which means when the survivor dies, this is actually going to count as part of the survivor's estate. Okay? But the magic happens over here, right? Where this 2.2 is going to stay out of the survivor's estate when they die. You get to basically double your estate tax exemption. Everyone is happy and everything is amazing. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. It makes sense to me when I write it out, but sometimes seeing it on paper is easier. We'll see. Okay? So that is it for today. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have questions or comments, leave them. If you're going to judge my drawing or my handwriting, save it. Okay? I don't want to hear it. I know it's bad. And if you have questions or want to talk more about estate planning or probate with us, you can do so over the phone for free by going to cmslawfirm.com. Okay, that's it for today. I am Christopher Small. I am the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning. We do probate. We do it well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you again soon. See ya.